Rusty is a cheerful and optimistic boy, something we can see throughout all of his appearances in Bluey. But did you know that his life has a dark side that very few people know about? Poor. Bluey is a show that doesn't talk much about money, but it's clear that the Healer family has great financial stability. Their house is quite large and has several rooms, such as an office and a playroom. On top of that, Bluey and Bingo frequently get new toys and have a huge pile of toys they don't even use. Because of that, when we see what Rusty's life is like, it's easy to notice the financial difference between his family and Bluey's. His house is much simpler, with a fragile wall that even has marks in the area where Rusty usually practices hitting the ball. His mom is shown washing dishes by hand in the episode Cricket, which shows that the house doesn't have a dishwasher. That same episode also shows that Rusty sleeps in the same bedroom as his older brother, and the two share a bunk bed. Unlike the Healer house, which has an extra bedroom that Bluey doesn't use simply because she prefers to stay with Bingo. And even in that case, the two girls have their own beds instead of having to use bunk beds. Even the park where Rusty usually plays cricket seems much less taken care of than the park the Healer family goes to. Could it be because the neighborhood where Rusty's family lives is a poorer area of the city? It seems we have enough evidence to say that, at the very least, his family's financial situation is worse than the Healers and that of most other families. Even so, he attends a private school, which may mean that a large part of his family's money is invested in his education. This is just the beginning of the hidden truth behind Rusty and his family that you didn't know. Stay tuned because another awesome Cinewave is already on. Main character. It's almost unbelievable, but before it was decided that Bluey would be the star of the show, the idea was for Rusty to take on the role of the main character, which would definitely have made the story completely different from the final version we all love so much. We have no idea how different the show would have been, but that only makes Rusty's life seem even sadder. Think about it. He was supposed to be the protagonist of one of the most popular children's shows today, but he lost that opportunity and was replaced by someone else. And if you pay close attention, you'll notice that Bluey is basically a blue female version of Rusty. It's as if someone told Rusty that he wasn't interesting enough to be a main character and then created an improved version of him to take his place. It gets even worse when we remember that Bluey's life is much better than Rusty's, with her family having a much stronger financial situation and calmer parents. It's as if the creators of the show abandoned Rusty because his life wasn't as much of a fairy tale as the blue pup's life. It's a good thing he doesn't know what he lost, because that would be truly heartbreaking. Absent father. Bluey and Bingo are lucky that Bandit works from home, because that's another privilege Rusty unfortunately doesn't have. In fact, his situation is the complete opposite. Rusty's dad works in the army, which means he has to be away for long periods of time to take part in missions. It's very clear that Rusty misses him, since the boy gets really excited when his dad sends a letter, and it's precisely that letter that helps him overcome an obstacle in cricket, showing how important Rusty's father is in his life. He certainly wants to have him around during difficult moments, but that's not always possible. Not to mention that there must be a certain level of fear in the family regarding the father's safety. Like it or not, he works in the army and can be put at risk depending on what's going on. Australia is fortunately not involved in any war, but military personnel often have to provide security in certain places, so there's always a chance that something terrible could happen. It's unlikely that Rusty's dad would lose his life in service, but it's a fear the young boy probably carries. Strict mother. Chili and Bandit have a very healthy parenting style, avoiding things like yelling or hitting their daughters as much as possible, and choosing to raise them in a way where they learn from their own mistakes. As for Rusty's parents, we don't know if his father is very strict, but we can confirm that his mother has a complicated temper. When Rusty ends up throwing the ball into the kitchen, his mom becomes completely furious and runs after Rusty and his brother with a flip-flop to hit them. Sure, the kid seriously messed up by throwing the ball into the kitchen, which could have hurt his mom, but that reaction was completely over the top. So much so that Digger, the older brother, realized what was about to happen and yelled, "Run!" before she went after them. He already knew what was coming, which suggests that she has a habit of hitting her kids when they do something wrong. Even though it's not the best way to raise a child, that's still how many parents treat their kids to this day, unfortunately for Rusty. And if you also felt sorry for Rusty when he had to run away from his own mom, comment down below #Rusty. hurt. Rusty is having a very tough childhood, even though he is a happy kid. No one goes easy on him, and he has to adapt to that. This is something we see a lot in the episode Cricket, which shows him dealing with several challenges and how those challenges only make him a better and better player. Rusty even had to play against older players, friends of Digger, and they didn't hold back the strength of their hits, even knowing they were playing against the little kid. One time, Rusty was hit squarely by a ball, and not just any ball, but a cricket ball, which is very hard. The result? He got badly hurt. That incident left the little boy very shaken and traumatized. His older brother even told him to stop playing with the older kids after that. Rusty didn't deserve to go through that, but it just shows how unfair life can be sometimes. Thankfully, Rusty managed to overcome what happened, becoming able to hit back the ball thrown by the older boy the next time he played against him. Fight with Indy. Even at school, Rusty has already gone through some not so nice moments. One example was the argument he once had with Indy, which resulted in the two of them being mad at each other. While Rusty's dad works in the army, his mom stays at home to take care of the kids and handle the housework. We know this because in the episode Mums and Dads, Rusty tells Indy that his dad leaves the house to work while his mom stays to take care of the children. We know this isn't an absolute truth, but based on the way he talks, he must have learned this idea from how his own family works. And that way of thinking ended up causing his fight with Indy, since she believed that moms go to work while dads go cut the grass, which she must also have learned from her own family. Since the two of them were playing mom and dad, the game completely fell apart because they couldn't decide who would stay at home and who would go to work. So they split up and tried to play with other kids, but nothing worked out. While Indy only found very irresponsible dads, Rusty was forced to be a baby by Bluey, which was very humiliating for the poor kid. The good part is that Rusty and Indy ended up making up in the end and going back to playing together. Missing his dad. The longing Rusty feels for his dad shows up in many ways throughout the series, one of them being his army-themed games. One of his favorite games is pretending to be a soldier in the army, just like his dad. One reason for this is that Rusty admires his dad a lot and wants to be like him when he grows up, but another reason is that the boy genuinely misses his father figure and uses this game as a way to cope with that, since playing makes him feel closer to him. We see this a lot in the episode Army, where Rusty plays this game with Jack, a new student who would soon become his best friend. Thankfully, Rusty found someone who also enjoys this kind of play, because it means he probably feels a little less lonely than before. Would you agree to play soldier together with him and Jack? Lack of attention. Even though his mom is always present, it's possible that Rusty also feels like he doesn't receive the attention he deserves from her. She must be very busy playing the role of two parents while her husband is in the army, and her main focus is possibly Rusty's younger sister, which is understandable. So much so that even though his mom doesn't work, Rusty has to get a ride home from school with Jack's family, showing that she doesn't even have time to pick him up. Does he feel left out even if he doesn't say anything? Because he knows his mom is overwhelmed and does the best she can. The subscribe button is flashing just for you. Click it and hit the bell right now. Pressure. Another thing Rusty may feel, even if in a quiet and unspoken way, is the pressure to become like his father. Think about it. Bluey's friend is the son of a military man who gives his life to defend his country, and that can end up affecting the way Rusty sees himself. Rusty may create very high expectations for his own future, which could make him feel bad when he's unable to live up to those expectations. These expectations can also come from his own family, especially because they don't have that much money, and even so, they pay for Rusty to attend a private school. His parents are investing in him to give him the best opportunities, which is great, but it can also make him feel pressured to get into a good college and land a very good job that will allow him to help his parents financially. Comeback. Rusty's life is truly far from perfect and definitely has its bad side, but what comforts us is knowing that this will change over time. At the end of Cricket, we get a glimpse of his future, where we see an adult Rusty walking onto a cricket field as a professional player. He has a bright career ahead of him. The fun continues with just one click. There are 2 videos on the screen waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.